Chavez here with NS Corporation. In this how-to video, we will show you the proper way to remove and install new pelts on your brush. I have here a couple of different pelts. This is a lamb's cloth pelt, as you can see. This is a polishing material, wash and polish. This material right here, it adapts the same way as this. 3 rivets in the front, except that this one has a 4th rivet in the back. The pelts do, the lamb's cloth pelts. Now, for the fiber, it only requires 3 rivets. And as you can see, there's an overlap where it locks in. The thinner part goes underneath. The larger part goes on top, which has the insets for the rivets right here. So the rivet fits right in there. Now we refer to these as pelts or brush segments. So this brush has 10 pelts, and as you will see, you can just look around and find where your rivet line is. On this little brush here, we can spin it around. What we're going to find is, here's the 3 rivets for this pelt right here. As you can see right here, there's 1, 2, 3 rivets. So every other pelt is going to be shown on this side, the rivets. This pelt right here that you don't see any rivets, you're going to see it on the other side, and every other one. That goes for the lamb's cloth also. You can see the top one has the rivets there. It skips this one, and this one has them there. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to remove a pelt. First and foremost is make sure your power's off. Shut off your lockout, your disconnect power. We have a cordless drill with a 3/16 drill bit. We have a manually operated rivet gun. We have a few rivets here. You could use like an ice pick or a thin screwdriver will work to hold the pelt in place for you. And we also have a pneumatic rivet gun. Pneumatic rivet gun, you need a little portable air compressor, but it just makes it that much easier. So what we're gonna do right now is go to our pelt that we want to replace, find the rivets. Here it is, these 3 rivets right here. You can see you got to move some of the material out of the way. But you can see the 3 rivets right there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to step on some of this material on the floor so the drill cannot, hold the brush in place. And as I put pressure on it, it'll hold it in place so I'm not fighting myself. So I'm going to take this rivet and I'm just going to place my 3/16 drill bit through my cordless drill right on top of it. I'm going to wiggle it around a little bit. That cuts into it. That removes that head. All right, so I'm going to repeat that process for the other 2. And where is it? Oh, there it is. I was starting to go higher. But there's the center rivet. So what I want to do is wiggle it around a little bit. Go to the next rivet, my 3rd and last. Wiggle it around so we cut that head off. So now what we're going to do is pull that pelt off. Now you can see that the overlap of this pelt is overlapping this way because this brush, which is the passenger side brush, turns in this rotation. Clockwise. Looking at it from the top, it's clockwise. So now this pelt is the thin parts on the bottom. This one overlaps. So as the brush goes around, it gets tighter and doesn't want to pull itself off. So we're taking that brush out. So you can see this segment overlaps like this. And now the brush is turning this way and it makes it actually tighter, right? If you put it the opposite direction, the brush is turning this way, it wants to pull it off of the rivets. If it's turning in this direction, it wants to make the pelt actually tighter around the core, the brush shaft. So now we're going to drop that on the floor. Real quick, we can see that there's some rivet heads left here. We can either hammer them in or just push them in with the drill bit. You can see how easy those fall in. You can flatten them down with a drill. But you can also just push them the rest of the way with your 3/16 drill bit. So now we're going to install the new pelt. which is again, we want to make sure that the wrap is correct. This brush turns this way, so we want the thinner part of the pelt underneath. It's going to go in this direction. You know, probably the most difficult part here is keeping all these little annoying strands of fiber out of your way. So at this point, what we're going to want to do is grab a thin screwdriver, something like this, and we're going to take the center hole of the pelt and pull it over. And we're going to find where our hole's at, right? If I can see it, there it is. Let's stick that screwdriver right in there. It holds it in place. Now, I'm going to do one with the good old manual rivet gun here. Wiggle it around so we find where it pops into place. There it is. And squeeze a few times. Now you can see the squeezing if you have quite a few to do. You know, every now and then you got to slide it back in so it grabs the head of the rivet, pulls it through. Just popped. There's a pin. But now the other ones, we're going to do it with the pneumatic. If you get a pneumatic gun, all you need is a portable little air compressor. So we want to find the other attachment that we had to put in. Find the hole. Where is it? Right. There it is. Squeeze a few times. Pops it. Make sure you keep these on hand and you don't leave them laying around. So what we got here, you know, we're out here in the test area. I just pulled out the screwdriver, right? And I'm going to insert my last rivet. So again, that was 3 rivets to attach that pelt. If we had a lamb's cloth pelt, we would be, after we did that process in the front here with the 3 rivets, we would add that single rivet in the back, right? So that pelt is right on there again, you know. So again, these are brush pelts, you know, also known as a brush segment. This is a 10 pelt system. This is a nice little wrap brush here. So you can see it's pretty easy to do. So the final thing you want to do is make sure you don't have any debris or leftover parts laying around. You know, any of the stuff you took off the old rivets. And once you spin it, it'll flare out and drop off any, you know, any debris, shavings, or anything that you might have left on there. You know, but you want to make sure it's all completely off. And you want to do that same process with lamb's cloth. Now again, lamb's cloth overlaps the same way. The only difference is here is that one's not thicker than the other. They're both the same length. So if this is the bottom part and this is the overlap, that means the brush would turn in this direction, right? If the brush is going to turn in the opposite direction, we would overlap this way. So now the brush can turn this way, thus this gets tighter around the brush. So again, thank you for watching this video. This is Alex Chavez with NS Corporation with another helpful how-to video. And don't forget to visit us at nswash.com for more helpful videos and all your wash equipment.